Good morning everyone. Today I'm going to show you how I made a pattern and also draped this single rose bustier crop top for Valentine's Day for myself. I started with a sketch as always because I'm visualizing my success. Then I grabbed my Braham. This one is a 34B cup volume with a 38 underwire line. By the way, I have a pattern for this and a video tutorial if you're interested. You can pin on it, so it's quite convenient to use. Then I have this black nylon fabric which I can burn the ends of to create a clean edge. So I used that for the petals. It was only 60 shillings per meter, which is about $50, so it's quite affordable. Then I used green to drape the leaves so that I have some contrast. So you can choose any colors you prefer. I pinned a strapless bra cup on the Braham so that I have an idea of where the edge of the biggest petal should end. So what I did is pin some fabric and then cut the excess off. That way I have my ideal shape. This Braham has a 1 cm seam allowance, so my patterns have a 1 cm seam allowance at the wire line. But of course, when I'm cutting the edges, there is no seam allowance for the edges of the petals and the leaves. You can also drape using some paper since you need the design to be a bit stiff, just a little bit stiff. That way you can bend it into whichever shape you prefer and it will hold the shape. So here I'm showing you how I draped the third leaf, the one that connects to a stem if you want a stem. So I just pinned some paper on and then I cut it into the desired shape. Trim off any excess paper and then I'm going to outline it with a marker pen. That way I can see the edges or the boundaries of it. I won't draw with a marker pen on the white Braham because this is permanent ink and I'm trying to keep the Braham clean. So yeah, that's the leaf. So I'll have 3 leaves, an inner leaf, an outer leaf, and the centralmost leaf. They will overlap at the center. And that's the outcome of the leaves. To show you how I draped the petals for the inside of the flower, I'm going to have to show you my bodice block first. So I made a body from my basic bodice block. I just drew a wire line in, then I turned it into a bustier block, which I'm going to use for many things, so I cleaned up. So this is the clean form that I will use. The back band I can fold by about 2 inches from the center back, so I lace up the back instead of having it to be a full back. I have vertical seam bra cup patterns. We have the outer and the inner cup. I will cut 2, of course, the left and the right, and a lining and an outer shell. So for the first petal, I overlap them at the top to create a 1 dot cup pattern, which I created a curve at the neckline area. So that's the difference. And then I'm going to pinch and pin the dart to create a rounded shape for the first petal. So that's the petal that will cover the cup itself, and the cup on this side will be the same color as the petals. So these are my petal patterns. Let's start with the innermost one that has that spiral. I'll just roll it up, and then the places where we have scallops, I will bend the scallops so that we have the illusion of a blooming rose. Then I have my outermost rose petal. This one is at the underarm, and my innermost petal is at the wire line. I'll bend them out like this, but first I want to pin my leaf patterns. Then for my central leaf, I decided to also make a pattern for the stem, show you what the stem would look like. For that, I drew a rectangle that's about 1.5 inches wide. Then I'll tape it to the leaf, and then I'll sew it like a tube, but I'll keep the leaf side open. That way I don't have any open edges. Then I made some leaf patterns, and then I made a thorn pattern by creating a pointy triangle. So I will be sandwiching them into the seam allowance, and then actually I rolled them up inside and then pinned them when I sewed this rose on your right. I turned them into a pattern, so I have a template. I did an invisible zipper for my mock-up, so it's on the left side seam, and then for my back I added elastic. So my elastic is encased in fabric to match the back, so it's quite posh and neat and makes the back stretchy to accommodate my body and to make sure the top fits well. Now this was the hard way. The easy way would have been to use a separable zipper for the side seam and to finish the edges of my top with bias binding instead of a clean finish. Here is the fabric I had draped. To transfer it into a pattern, I traced over it with some clear paper. Option 2 would be to take a photo using my camera app and some measuring tape to make sure everything is going to be scaled up correctly when I import the photo in Inkscape. I think you can also use Adobe Illustrator to digitize your physical patterns. So I'll draw around that. Another option would be to just take a photo of the patterns that are clean themselves. So I cut my fabric pieces so I can sew myself a mock-up. I'm using black and pink for the rose. This is the outcome. We have this lovely rose. My option 2 is to drape some flower vines on the neckline as well. Option 3 is to go without the stem. I think option 1 and option 3 look the best. The stem is quite alluring. Let me know which design you prefer in the comments below. Share this video widely so that anyone who would like this can see and make one for themselves. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!